This is the solution for diabetes. And if you stay until the end, I can tell you exactly how this pill in 2026 might be the solution to reverse diabetes type 2. Because a simple disease needs a simple solution. But first, to understand the solution, we need to understand the problem. So today, I'll tell you how it happens, the actual cascade event behind diabetes. I'll also tell you the myths behind why diabetes type 2 it's not a carb disease. And finally, to understand why this pill even matters, we first need to understand how diabetes actually works. Diabetes is a cascade event, and there are three main stages. First, the pre-diabetic stage, the warning stage. Your blood sugar levels go high, but not high enough to be diagnosed with diabetes. However, type 1 diabetes, it's actual genetic component of this story. It's the type that it can be caused as an autoimmune condition where the pancreas stops producing insulin. Or maybe you were born with the incapability of producing insulin in the first place. But as humans and very creative, we pretty much accidentally create our own version of what would be diabetes type 1, what we call diabetes type 2. Almost a man-made disease, and the most common and the one we can actually do something about it. Type 2 diabetes doesn't just appear overnight. It's like a slow chain reaction, a cascade event that builds quietly over time. First, it usually starts with less movement. You sit more, train less, and less often use your muscles. All that leads to having lower body mass. And when your muscles goes down, something very crucial happens. Your body's big glucose sponge disappears. And fats start to be stored around your cells. Think of it like a piece of meat. Actual good content, it's inside, but surrounded, you have that big crust of fat, like a picanha piece. But with so much fat, the body can work properly because now you're blocking the pathway for something called insulin. And remember that name, because insulin is the component hormone that grabs glucose from your bloodstream to the inside of your cells. When you have so much fat surrounding the cells, we need more and more and more insulin to grab all that sugar and put inside of the cells. It's almost like the drug paradox that I have talked in other videos here. The more you have, the more you need. The more fat I have surrounding the cells, more sugar I have in my blood vessels. So more insulin I will need to grab that sugar and bring inside of the cell. And that's when the number starts to climb. A1C goes up, fasting glucose creeps high, and what started as a lifestyle slowly turns into a metabolic mess. Most people don't even notice it's happening until it's already too late. So now let's talk about the lies that people believe, the actual myths behind diabetes. Carbs cause diabetes. Not necessarily. As I just explained to you, what happens when you develop diabetes is that your cells become insulin resistant, meaning insulin does not work as effective on them to let sugar go inside. So for analogy, I want you to think about a room, and that room is your cell. On that door, you have pathways, the keys for sugar to go inside. Now imagine you have a big bodyguard in front of that door, which we're gonna call fat in here. That bodyguard is not letting the sugars go inside. Not because the room is full, in fact the room is empty, but because someone told him to be there, which in that case was you, protecting that cell, not in a good way. So because they are surrounded by fat and don't have enough muscle to absorb that sugar, you start developing diabetes. So wait. Mauricio, you're telling me that the villain is actually fat for diabetes? Not necessarily. The problem here is imbalance. Your body is always fighting to maintain equilibrium. Too much of something or too little of something creates problems. If I have a lot of fat surrounding my cells due to excess weight, my body needs more insulin to put sugar inside. And if instead of exercising and actually burning that fat, I decided to just eat more and more and more, now I have a metabolic mass. Mauricio, wouldn't be effective to actually not eat more and more and more? Yes and no, because cutting off the carbs from the equation, and as we know carbs are not bad, because you can see on our last video, will lead you to problems as well. Psychologically speaking, the chances of you sustaining that diet is low. Physiologically speaking, you're not solving the problem because the problem in the first place is fat surrounding the cells. So how do I actually solve the problem? Well, if you're stick until the end, I will tell you the secret for us to reverse diabetes in 2026. Myth number 2. If it runs in my family, it's my destiny. Not necessarily. Diabetes type 1 is completely genetic, but diabetes type 2, even though has some genetic influence, most of it's your lifestyle choices. Genetics may load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Saying the genetics is the cause for diabetes type 2, it's almost saying that every cop that has a gun will shoot themselves. It's not because you have it that we will do it. Your grandpa taught your dad how to eat. Your dad taught you how to eat. And that's why the chances seem higher. It's not just in your genes. Most of the time it's not even there, but in your lifestyle. Diabetes type 2 is like having a vegan cat. Your cat would only be vegan if you feed it vegan food. It doesn't ask for it. So if you break the cycle and learn how to eat to not develop diabetes, your kids don't need to suffer with this condition anymore. And that's where the real solution starts. So the capsule, it's the miracle for 2026, but it's actually only a representation of it. The actual solution for diabetes type 2 is within you the whole time. Muscle. Multiple study shows that increasing muscle mass improves insulin sensitivity, lowers blood glucose, and can reverse type 2 diabetes in many cases. Listen, you have heard thousands of times that going to the gym and eating healthy can actually reverse diabetes. And now I'm coming here and lying to you, promising you the magic pill and actually throwing in your face one more time that muscle is the solution for it. But listen, I'm not telling you that having more muscle will help solve your problem. What I'm telling you, that building muscle will reverse or avoid that you ever have that problem, is the unique, truly genuine, only solution for it. Because remember, muscle works like a sponge. And I bet you never met, because I didn't, anyone that has diabetes type 2 and that person is active, have a good amount of muscle, it's in shape, exercising and eating good. It just simply doesn't exist. You could have diabetes type 1 because remember, that's a genetic factor. It doesn't mean everyone that is out of shape will have diabetes type 2, but you do have more chances. Because different from all the other disease, metabolic conditions are truly genuinely caused by your lifestyle. And here's why. Muscles act like a sponge for glucose. Training increases the transporters, allowing sugar to move from your blood into your muscle cells more efficiently. So training your muscles will suck most of the sugar from your blood vessels. This isn't magic, it's physiology. And the capsule that I'm holding, it's actually something you can consume, commonly known as creatine, one of the most studied supplements in the world. When paired with strength training and protein, it helps build muscle faster. So if you're trying to reverse or prevent diabetes in 2026, the solution and only solution for it, it's building muscle. And how we do that? By eating enough protein, using evidence-based tools like creatine, going to the gym and grabbing weights. This will improve your insulin sensitivity and control your blood sugar. Type 2 diabetes isn't a life sentence, it's a numbers game. And muscle changes the math. So next time someone tells you that diabetes can be reversed, or your doctor lies to you, saying right away the first solution is medication, again, I'm not against of it. There is a place and time for it. Show them this video. Because the real solution isn't in a pill, but in the subscribe button.